Commander Ariana Hayes stood at the viewport of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon, watching the pristine surface of Kepler 186f grow larger as they descended. The alien world's twin moons cast an ethereal purple glow across its crystalline surface, creating an otherworldly landscape that took her breath away. Final approach vector locked in, Commander, Lieutenant Reed announced from the pilot's station. Atmospheric entry in 3 minutes. Ariana nodded, her hand unconsciously touching the worn captain's insignia on her collar. This was their first deep space exploration mission since the quantum drive breakthrough, and as mission commander, the weight of humanity's first contact protocols rested heavily on her shoulders. The Horizon sensors had detected unusual energy signatures emanating from the planet's surface, signatures that suggested advanced technology. After 6 months of interstellar travel, they were about to discover if they truly weren't alone in the universe. The ship shuddered as they entered the atmosphere, friction flames dancing across the viewports. Ariana gripped the railing tighter, her knuckles white. They'd trained for this moment countless times, but nothing could truly prepare them for humanity's first encounter with an alien civilization. As they broke through the cloud layer, a sprawling crystalline city came into view. Towering spires of what appeared to be living crystal reached toward the sky, connected by bridges of pure light. The sight was beyond anything their simulations had prepared them for. Energy readings are off the charts, Science Officer Kai remarked, his eyes wide as he studied his displays. The entire city appears to be powered by some form of crystalline fusion we've never encountered before. Ariana was about to respond when a soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. The bridge crew froze as alien symbols appeared on their main view screen, quickly being processed by their translation matrix. "They're granting us landing clearance," Communications Officer Jensen reported, surprise evident in her voice. "They're using a mathematical language base similar to what we broadcast. They've been expecting us." The landing was smoother than Ariana had anticipated, their ship settling onto a crystalline platform that seemed to adjust its molecular structure to cradle their vessel perfectly. Following first contact protocols, Ariana selected a small team to accompany her to the surface, Kai for scientific analysis, Jensen for communications, and 2 security officers for protection. As the airlock cycled and the ramp lowered, Ariana's heart thundered in her chest. The air was breathable, just as their sensors had indicated, with a sweet, almost metallic taste. The crystalline platform beneath their boots hummed with barely perceptible energy. That's when she saw her. A tall, graceful figure emerged from a nearby structure. Her skin had a subtle iridescent quality, shifting colors like the surface of a soap bubble. Long, silver-white hair floated around her head as if suspended in water, despite the still air. But it was her eyes that captured Ariana's attention. They were deep violet, with pupils that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. Before Ariana could speak the customary first contact greeting they'd prepared, the alien woman glided forward and, to everyone's shock, fell to her knees before her. The woman's head bowed low, her floating hair settling around her like a starlit veil. At last, the alien woman spoke, her voice carrying a melodic quality that made Ariana's skin tingle. "The Starchild has returned to us." Ariana exchanged bewildered looks with her team. This was definitely not in any of their first contact scenarios. "Please," she said, stepping forward and extending her hand to help the woman up. "There's no need for this. I'm Commander Ariana Hayes of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon." The alien woman looked up, those galaxy-filled eyes meeting Ariana's with an intensity that made her breath catch. "I am Thura, High Priestess of the Vazari. For 10,000 years, our people have awaited your return." She accepted Ariana's offered hand, her touch sending an unexpected warmth through Ariana's body. "You may not remember us, Starchild, but your coming was written in the very crystals of our world." As Thura rose to her feet, Ariana couldn't help but notice how she stood nearly a head taller than her, moving with an otherworldly grace that made her seem to float rather than walk. "There must be some mistake," Ariana said, trying to maintain her diplomatic composure despite the strange flutter in her chest whenever Thura's eyes met hers. "We've never been to this world before. We're only now developing the technology to reach this far into space." A small, knowing smile graced Thura's luminescent features. "The memories of flesh are short, but the soul remembers. Come." She gestured toward the crystal spires rising behind her. "There is much you need to see, much you need to remember." As Ariana followed Thura toward the alien city, she couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter would change not just her life, but the course of human history. What she didn't yet realize was how it would also change her heart. The rest of her team followed, their boots clicking against the crystalline surface as they approached the towering structures. Other Vazari emerged to watch their procession, each dropping to their knees as Ariana passed. The sight made her increasingly uncomfortable, but Thura's presence beside her provided an inexplicable sense of calm. "Your people," Ariana began carefully, "you said you've been waiting for 10,000 years. How did you know we would come?" Thura's expression softened as she glanced at Ariana, those galaxy eyes seeming to peer directly into her soul. "When the Ancient Ones left our world, they promised that their child would return when we needed them most. The crystals have sung of your coming for generations, growing stronger with each passing cycle of our moons. And now," she paused, her hand ghosting near Ariana's arm without quite touching it, "here you are." The great archive of the Vazari stretched endlessly before them, its crystalline walls containing what appeared to be living light. Streams of luminescent information flowed through the transparent structures like rivers of knowledge, casting ever-changing patterns across Ariana's face as she followed Thura deeper into the sacred space. "Each crystal contains millennia of our history," Thura explained, her voice echoing softly in the vast chamber. "But there is one memory we have preserved above all others." She led Ariana to a central pillar that pulsed with a deep blue light. As they approached, the crystal's surface rippled like water, and suddenly the air around them filled with a three-dimensional projection. Ariana gasped as she witnessed what appeared to be ancient spacecraft, unmistakably of human design, landing on the Vazari world. 10,000 years ago," Thura began, her voice taking on a rhythmic quality, "beings from the stars arrived on our world. They found our people in their infancy, still learning to harness the power of the crystals. They taught us, guided us, helped us evolve beyond our primitive state." The projection showed humans working alongside ancient Vazari, teaching them, learning from them. "That's impossible," Ariana whispered, though the evidence hovered before her eyes. Human civilization wasn't capable of space travel 10,000 years ago. Thura's galaxy eyes sparkled with mystery. "Perhaps not the civilization you remember. But there were others, lost to time." The projection shifted, showing a great catastrophe, massive energy storms tearing across the planet's surface. When the collapse came, the Ancient Ones sacrificed themselves to save our world, using their technology to stabilize our failing planetary core. But before they left, they made a promise. The projection changed again, showing a scene that made Ariana's heart skip a beat. A human woman, bearing an uncanny resemblance to herself, standing before the gathered Vazari. They promised that when darkness threatened our world again, their child would return, one who carried their essence but was born anew. Lieutenant Reed's voice crackled over Ariana's communicator, breaking the spell of the moment. "Commander, we're detecting unusual energy fluctuations from the planet's core. Similar to the historical readings shown in these records." Ariana glanced at Thura, whose serene expression had shifted to one of concern. "It's beginning," the High Priestess said softly. "The signs we've feared. Our world's core is becoming unstable again." Before Ariana could respond, another Vazari burst into the chamber. Unlike Thura's flowing silver-white hair, this one's was deep blue, crackling with barely contained energy. "High Priestess. The Council demands your presence." "And?" His galaxy eyes fixed on Ariana with obvious disapproval, "The outsiders." Thura straightened, her usual grace hardening into authority. "Mind your tone, Nexus. You speak to the Starchild." The newcomer, Nexus, barely contained his scoff. "So you say." The council is not convinced. Prophecies and pretty lights don't make her our savior. As they followed Nexus through the crystalline corridors, Ariana felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on her. She was a scientist, an explorer, not some prophesied savior. Yet she couldn't deny the evidence of humanity's ancient presence here, nor the strange familiarity she felt with this alien world. The council chamber was a vast amphitheater carved from a single massive crystal. 7 Vazari elders sat in tiered seats, their galaxy eyes all fixed upon Ariana as she entered. Their hair colors ranged from Thera's silver-white to deep purples and blues, each seemingly representing different factions or roles in their society. "The human has seen the archives?" The central elder asked, his deep purple hair swirling like a nebula around his stern face. "She has, first speaker," Thera replied, standing close to Ariana. "And our sensors confirm, the core destabilization patterns match those from the collapse." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Another elder, her hair a midnight blue, leaned forward. "Convenient timing, isn't it? These humans appear just as our world faces crisis. Perhaps they caused it." "We only arrived today," Ariana stepped forward, her voice firm despite her racing heart. "We had no way to affect your planet's core. But if there's a way we can help." "Help?" Nexus interrupted from his position below the council. "Like your ancestors helped by abandoning us?" "Enough." Thera's voice rang out, carrying an authority that silenced the chamber. "The prophecy speaks not of the Ancient One's return, but of their child, one born of their essence but free of their sins. The crystals have confirmed her signature. She is the one." The first speaker rose, his galaxy eyes studying Ariana intently. "Then let her prove it. The chamber of resonance awaits. If she truly carries the essence of the Ancient Ones, the crystals will recognize her." Thera's composed expression cracked for just a moment, showing genuine concern. "The chamber? But the energy levels are necessary to prove her worth," the first speaker finished firmly. "Take her to the chamber. We will all observe the truth." As they left the council chamber, Ariana caught Thera's arm gently. "What aren't you telling me about this chamber?" Thera's galaxy eyes met hers, filled with worry and something deeper, something that made Ariana's pulse quicken. "The chamber of resonance is where our most powerful crystals are housed. They respond to specific energy signatures, those carried in the very cells of the Ancient Ones. If you truly carry their essence, the crystals will resonate with you. If not..." She hesitated. "If not?" "The energy feedback could be fatal." Ariana took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "Then we'd better hope your prophecy is right." She managed a small smile, surprising herself when she reached out to squeeze Thera's hand. "For what it's worth, I trust you." The look Thera gave her in return made the risk seem worth it, those galaxy eyes softening with an emotion that transcended their different species. "Then let me teach you what you need to know. We have until moonrise to prepare you for the chamber." As they walked through the crystalline corridors toward whatever challenge awaited, Ariana found herself hyper-aware of Thera's presence beside her. Whether it was prophecy, destiny, or simple chemistry, something was definitely resonating between them. She just hoped it would be enough to survive what was coming. The preparation chamber hummed with crystalline energy as Thera guided Ariana through the ancient meditation poses. Streams of light danced around them, responding to their movements as they worked to attune Ariana's body to the crystal resonance. "Feel the energy flow," Thera instructed, her hands ghosting over Ariana's shoulders to adjust her posture. "The crystals are alive in their own way. They don't respond to force, they respond to harmony." Ariana tried to focus on the exercise, but Thera's proximity was increasingly distracting. Every light touch sent sparks through her body that had nothing to do with crystal energy. "I think I'm getting it," she said, watching as a nearby crystal pulsed in sync with her breathing. "Better," Thera smiled, but her expression quickly turned serious. "But the chamber will be far more intense. The crystals there are pure, unrefined. They'll try to merge with your energy completely." Their practice was interrupted by Lieutenant Reed's voice over the communicator. "Commander, we're picking up unusual activity near the planet's core. The energy fluctuations are increasing." Before Ariana could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the Crystal City. The lights in the preparation chamber flickered, and Thera's galaxy eyes widened with concern. "It's happening faster than we predicted." Nexus burst into the chamber, his blue hair crackling with agitation. "The Council is convening an emergency session. The core destabilization has reached critical levels." His eyes narrowed at Ariana. "If you truly are the Star Child, we need you now, not after days of preparation." "She's not ready," Thera protested, stepping protectively closer to Ariana. "The chamber could kill her without proper attunement. Our world could die waiting." Nexus snapped back. "The Council has moved up the trial. It begins in 1 hour." After Nexus stormed out, Ariana turned to Thera. "He's right. We don't have time for more preparation." "Then let me show you one last thing." Thera took Ariana's hands in hers, and the contact sent a wave of warmth through both of them. "Close your eyes. Feel my energy signature." Ariana complied, and suddenly she could sense it, a beautiful, melodic hum that seemed to emanate from Thera's very being. "That's amazing," she whispered. "The chamber's crystals will have a similar signature, but much more powerful. Focus on matching their frequency, just as you're matching mine now." Thera's voice softened. "I won't let you face this alone." The moment was interrupted by a subtle movement in the shadows. Ariana's military training kicked in, and she spun around just in time to see a figure duck behind a crystal column. "We're being watched." Thera's expression hardened. "Not everyone believes in the prophecy. Some think we should solve our problems without outside help. They see you as a threat to our independence." "And the Council? Where do they really stand?" "The Council is divided. The first speaker supports you, but others." Thera hesitated. "There are whispers that some want to harness the power of the destabilizing core rather than fix it. They believe they can control it, use it to advance our civilization beyond what even the ancient ones achieved." "That's insane," Ariana said. "From what your records showed, trying to harness that energy directly is what caused the collapse in the first place." "Yes, but desperation can make people blind to history's lessons." Thera moved closer, her voice dropping to barely a whisper. "Be careful in the chamber. Watch for any signs of tampering with the crystals. I fear some may try to ensure you fail." Ariana's hand instinctively went to where her pulse pistol would normally be, but she'd been asked to surrender all technology before the preparation began. She was about to respond when her communicator crackled again. "Commander," Kai's voice came through, tense with urgency. "We've detected artificial signals within the core fluctuation pattern. Someone is deliberately agitating the planet's core." The implications hit Ariana like a physical blow. "This isn't just a natural crisis, is it? Someone's manufacturing it to force our hand." Thera's galaxy eyes filled with tears. "The division in our society runs deeper than I wanted to admit. Some believe that only through crisis can we achieve our true potential. They would risk everything." Their conversation was cut short as the chamber doors opened again. 2 Vazari honor guards entered, their crystalline armor glowing with power. "It is time," one announced. "The chamber awaits." As they were led through the twisting corridors, Ariana felt Thera's hand slip into hers. The touch was both reassuring and electrifying. "Whatever happens in there," Thera whispered, know that my heart beats with yours." The chamber of resonance loomed before them, its massive crystal doors pulsing with barely contained power. The council members were already assembled in the observation gallery above, their galaxy eyes gleaming in the dim light. Nexus stood among them, his expression unreadable. Before entering, Ariana turned to Thera one last time. The words that passed between them didn't need to be spoken aloud, their eyes said everything. Then the doors opened, revealing a heart of pure crystal energy that would either accept Ariana as the prophesied starchild or destroy her for her presumption. As Ariana stepped into the chamber alone, she carried with her not just humanity's hopes for peaceful first contact, but also the weight of a civilization's survival and the warmth of a love that transcended species. The crystal doors sealed behind her with a resonant hum, and the trial began. The chamber of resonance was unlike anything Ariana had ever experienced. Massive crystals rose from floor to ceiling like frozen lightning bolts, each thrumming with raw energy that made the air itself vibrate. At the chamber's center, a circular platform of pure crystal waited, its surface rippling like liquid starlight. As Ariana stepped onto the platform, the energy in the room shifted. The crystals began to pulse in rhythm, their light growing more intense with each beat. Through the transparent observation dome above, she could see the council members watching intently. Thera stood apart from them, her galaxy eyes fixed on Ariana with a mixture of hope and fear. "Let the trial begin," the first speaker's voice resonated through the chamber. "Commander Hayes, if you truly carry the essence of the Ancient Ones, align your energy with the sacred crystals. Show us the truth of the prophecy." Ariana closed her eyes, remembering Thera's teachings. She focused on finding the harmony, the resonance that would connect her to the crystal's energy. At first, nothing happened. Then she felt it, a subtle vibration that seemed to echo from deep within her own cells. The closest crystal responded, its light shifting to match her own internal rhythm. Then another joined, and another. The harmony built gradually, filling the chamber with a symphony of light and energy. Ariana felt herself becoming part of it, her consciousness expanding to embrace the crystal network that ran throughout the entire planet. Suddenly, she understood. These weren't just power sources or data storage, they were synapses in a planetary nervous system. The Ancient Ones hadn't just helped the Vazari, they had merged their technology with the planet itself, creating something entirely new. But there was something wrong. Through the crystal network, she could feel artificial disruptions pulsing from the planet's core. Someone was deliberately destabilizing the system, pushing it toward catastrophic failure. "She's doing it." Thera's voice carried down from above. "The crystals are accepting her." "No." Nexus's voice cut through the harmony. "This proves nothing. She's corrupting the sacred crystals with human technology." Ariana's eyes snapped open as she felt a surge of discordant energy tear through the network. The crystals around her flared dangerously, their carefully maintained harmony shattering. Through the chaos, she glimpsed Nexus holding some kind of crystalline device, its surface crackling with destructive power. "Stop," the first speaker commanded. "You'll destroy everything. Better destruction than submission to human influence again." Nexus snarled, activating the device fully. The chamber's crystals began to overload, their energy spiraling out of control. Ariana felt the disruption spreading through the planetary network, accelerating the core destabilization. In moments, the chain reaction would become irreversible. She had to make a choice: retreat to safety or risk everything by attempting to restore harmony. The answer came not from prophecy or destiny, but from her heart. She thought of Thera, of the trust and love growing between them. She thought of two civilizations on the brink of either destruction or a new beginning. Drawing on everything Thera had taught her about crystal resonance, Ariana opened herself fully to the network. Pain lanced through her body as she absorbed the discordant energy, trying to redirect it, to find harmony in the chaos. Her very cells felt like they were on fire. Through tear-blurred eyes, she saw Thera fighting past the guards, trying to reach her. "Ariana! Let go! It's too much power." "Trust me," Ariana gasped, though she wasn't sure if she spoke the words aloud or through the crystal network. She could feel the Ancient One's technology responding to her on a genetic level, recognizing something in her DNA that had been carefully preserved through thousands of years of human evolution. The chamber erupted with blinding light as Ariana became a conduit for the planet's energy. Through her connection to the network, she could sense everything: the artificial disruptions at the core, the failing containment systems, and something else, a hidden failsafe left behind by the Ancient Ones. In that moment of crystal-clear understanding, Ariana knew what she had to do. The prophecy hadn't brought her here to simply repeat history. She wasn't meant to save the Vazari the same way the Ancient Ones had, at the cost of abandoning them. She was here to show them a new way. "Thera," she called out through the storm of energy. "I need you. Our peoples were never meant to be separate. The Ancient Ones didn't fail, this was their plan all along. Humans and Vazari, evolving separately until we were ready to come together." Understanding dawned in Thera's galaxy eyes. She broke free of the guards and raced to the platform, taking Ariana's outstretched hand. The moment their fingers touched, the crystal resonance shifted to a new frequency, a perfect harmony of human and Vazari energy signatures. The chamber's light changed from chaotic discord to a steady, pulsing glow. Through their joined connection to the network, Ariana and Thera began to stabilize the planet's core, their combined energy signatures activating dormant systems that had waited millennia for this moment. Above them, Nexus's device overloaded and shattered, its discordant energy absorbed and transformed by the new harmony. The council members watched in awe as the chamber filled with holographic data, the complete records of the Ancient One's plan for both civilizations. As the crisis subsided, Ariana turned to Thera, their hands still joined, their energy signatures still harmonized. "I understand now," she said softly. "The prophecy wasn't about one person saving your world. It was about our peoples finding each other again, about completing a cycle that began 10,000 years ago." Thera's free hand came up to caress Ariana's cheek, her touch sending shivers of both physical and crystal energy through them both. "Not just our peoples," she whispered. "Us." The chamber's crystals pulsed with warm light, as if blessing the moment when their lips finally met in a kiss that bridged not just species, but millennia of separation. The prophecy was fulfilled, but their story was just beginning. Dawn broke over the crystal city, its spires reflecting the light of three celestial bodies, the rising sun and both moons, creating a spectacular display of refracted light that symbolized the new era beginning on this world. 2 days had passed since the events in the Chamber of Resonance, and the city hummed with an energy that was both ancient and new. In the newly established Harmony Chamber, Ariana stood before a gathered assembly of both Vazari council members and her own crew from the horizon. The chamber's crystals pulsed softly with the combined resonance signatures of both species, a constant reminder of what they had achieved together. "The Ancient One's records are clear," Ariana explained, gesturing to the holographic displays surrounding them. "They didn't just give the Vazari technology, they created a foundation for our peoples to evolve separately until we were ready to reunite. The crystal network was designed to reach its final stage of evolution only when both human and Vazari energy signatures were present." The first speaker nodded, his galaxy eyes reflecting the holographic light. "And Nexus? What of his fate?" "He remains in crystal stasis," Thera responded, moving to stand beside Ariana. Their hands found each other naturally, fingers intertwining. "His actions were born of fear, not malice. When he awakens, he will find our world not weakened by human presence, but strengthened by it." Lieutenant Reed stepped forward, holding a data tablet. "The Horizon's long-range communications are back online. Earth Command is extremely interested in what we've discovered here." He smiled. "They're already preparing a diplomatic delegation. And they should, the first speaker declared. But this time, we meet as equals. No more prophecies, no more secrets. The Ancient Ones gave us 10,000 years to grow separately, now we grow together. Ariana felt Thera's hand squeeze hers gently. The connection between them had only grown stronger since their moment of harmony in the chamber. The crystal network responded to their combined presence in ways that were still being discovered, revealing new possibilities for both civilizations. There is one more matter to address, the first speaker continued, his tone becoming more formal. The position of ambassador between our peoples must be filled by someone who understands both worlds. His galaxy eyes fixed on Ariana. Commander Hayes, we would ask you to serve in this role. Ariana felt her heart skip a beat. She looked at Thera, seeing her own hopes reflected in those stunning galaxy eyes. I would be honored, she replied. But I have one condition. A knowing smile crossed the first speaker's face. Name it. The position must be shared. Ariana turned to face Thera fully. We've seen what our peoples can achieve together. The ambassador role should reflect that. Co-ambassadors, Thera mused, her floating hair shimmering with joy. Like the twin moons in harmony. The ceremony that followed was a blend of Earth and Vazari traditions. The Crystal City's central spire blazed with light as Ariana and Thera took their oaths of office, their energy signatures merging with the planetary network in a display that could be seen from orbit. The Horizon's crew watched alongside Vazari citizens as two worlds took their first steps toward a shared future. Later, as the celebration continued below, Ariana and Thera stood on a crystal balcony overlooking the city. The air was filled with floating lights, a Vazari tradition symbolizing new beginnings. You know, Ariana said softly, drawing Thera closer, when I first landed on this world, I thought I was just following standard exploration protocols. I never imagined that you would fulfill an ancient prophecy. Thera's galaxy eyes sparkled with amusement. Or that you would fall in love with an alien priestess. Both. Ariana reached up to touch Thera's iridescent cheek. Though I'm starting to think the prophecy was just the universe's way of making sure we found each other. The Ancient Ones understood something we're only now beginning to learn, Thera replied, leaning into the touch. The greatest power in the universe isn't in crystals or technology, it's in the connections we forge. The harmony we create together. As if in response to her words, the crystal network pulsed with warm light, surrounding them in a gentle glow. Above, the twin moons of Kepler, 186f shone down on the city, their light refracting through the crystal spires to create halos of color that danced around the two women. So, Ariana smiled, pulling Thera closer, ready to help me explain all of this to Earth's diplomats? Ready to face anything, Thera answered, as long as we face it together. Their kiss was witnessed only by the stars, the floating lights, and the humming crystals, a perfect harmony of two worlds, two hearts, and two destinies intertwined. In the city below, humans and Vazari continued their celebrations, while in orbit, the Horizon maintained its vigilant watch over this new chapter in both species' histories. The prophecy that had brought them together was fulfilled, but Ariana and Thera knew this was just the beginning. There would be challenges ahead as their peoples learned to cooperate and grow together, but they would face them hand in hand, their love a living testament to the truth the Ancient Ones had known all along, that the greatest achievements come not from standing alone, but from finding harmony with others. As the night deepened and the celebration continued, the Crystal City sang with the combined energy of two civilizations united at last. The Ancient One's legacy was complete, but a new legacy, one of love, unity, and shared destiny, was just beginning to unfold beneath the light of alien stars.